Okay guys, so I have a new client that was here last week because the skin around her nails is really bothering her, and I'm trying to help her. So I'm going to do a quick manicure and just exfoliate that skin gently, and bit by bit the skin, honestly, it's going to be much better. It's going to improve, because when the skin is cut, it's going to be much thicker, and very often people try to correct this problem by cutting more or filing way too much. So honestly, in my experience, a very gentle approach is going to be much more effective in the long run. So I'm going to shape the nails. There was a little break, and this very often happens when the nail is curved naturally. See, beautiful shape. And this is when the nail is a little bit weaker. This is a stress point. So when you press, see where the white happens? It's a little bit lower than the stress area. The stress is right here. Because I think the client had the gel on her nails. Once the healthy nail grows out, everything is going to be fine. So today I'm going to, so last week we just didn't even plan it. It was just like a very quick manicure, and I didn't even have time to apply polish. But today we're going to do Dazzle Dry Base Coat and Top Coat, just to give her a little bit of shine. And also, this is something extremely important. This very often happens when people file too much into here, because the growth channel gets damaged and it hardens up like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go and file too much, just go like this, because sometimes people do that in order to make the nails a little bit slimmer looking, and that damages the growth channels, and this is what can happen. But the wonderful thing is that skin heals, and these things usually get better. ¿Un poco más cortas o no?
Está bien.
¿Sí? Okay. So I go in with the file, but I go very gently. I don't press down. I don't go with pressure, because I just want to feel if there was any catches, because sometimes when there are catches, it can really bother someone. You see? So this now, you can see this nail, now it's coming back here. So we need this nail. It's going to protect that area, and it's going to improve that skin. So I'm just going to smooth it a little bit so there was no catches. And I know it's difficult. It's especially difficult for the nail technician or the manicures, because we very often are expected to do miracles. So someone comes in and they just want perfect nails. And I understand, because very often this is what, unfortunately, we advertise on Instagram or like whatever, YouTube or something. And then it's like these, wow, before and afters, horrible nails, perfect nails. But in reality, I don't think that's the best approach long term. I have these cables underneath that are driving me crazy. In my opinion, but again, everyone has their own technique. Everyone has a different, approaches. But for me, in my experience, what I've been doing, long term gives clients extremely good results. So I've had clients that come in with calluses, and I don't know, it just happens so gradually that sometimes you don't even notice. But like after it takes a few months, people are like, oh my God, I don't have calluses anymore. Why? I'm like, because I'm not overfiling your dry skin. Because this is what happens. Sometimes the skin here is just dry, and people try to remove dry skin. That's not a solution. Dry skin needs to be protected. It needs to heal. If there is a little bit of callus, yes. But if you excessively file dry skin, the skin is going to get inflamed, and it's going to try to protect itself, and it's going to build up, and that's what happens. So it's better to do it very gently, very slowly, protect the skin as much as you can, and this is going to soften up for sure. And I would also recommend using exfoliant. So really you don't need, I mean, I do recommend the carousel, for example, which is like a heel treatment, but you can, which is good because it has 10% urea, which is a very good amount. It has salicylic acid as well, and it's very occlusive, so it's very thick. It has Vaseline, and urea works best under occlusion. So over time, it really, really works. But if you don't have carousel, just use any exfoliant that you would use for your face. So, I mean, Ordinary has some, the Ordinary company has some exfoliants that are not expensive. The glycolic acid they even actually have salicylic acid solution as well. So just a drop, and over time, the skin is going to soften up. And it's the same thing actually with facial peels. Like sometimes using a lower amount, but for a long period of time, it gives you better results because you don't get the inflammation. So I'm just nudging the skin fold. I was just thinking when I was doing the pedicure, someone was in the comment section saying that I should not be doing this dry because it hurts a lot. Well, I don't press so much that it hurts a lot. It doesn't hurt at all. I only go as far as the skin allows me, just very gently. And I think what happens is that sometimes people try to push back the cuticle. So the cuticle is somewhere here, and sometimes it's very stuck to the nail, and they put a lot of pressure, and that's what hurts. Not nudging back the skin. And again, the more elastic the skin is, it's going to sit nicer around the skin, around the nail. I call this whole area a nail contour. So I don't use this often, but in this case, I'm just going to use it very gently, a little taps. So as you can see, I'm actually kind of feeling for the skin because eyes can be a little deceiving. So as long as this is smoother, as long as this is not really bothering the client, I'm not trying to remove dry skin, because we just, you know, wipe the skin with alcohol. There's dust, so you can't really go by the look. You can go like this, and see there's a lot of callus because there was a little cut last time I saw her. She had a little cut here, and this is why the skin is just trying to protect itself. So I'm going to go very gently. So if you don't have this tool, and I don't recommend people use this tool on themselves because it's difficult, you can actually grab the file and just very gently just place it down and go like this. You can even go with the finer side and then feel it. As long as it's better, I know it looks dry and looks kind of, you know, ugly, but just go like this, and if you do this every week without overdoing this, this hardness will be gone. But I'm gonna do this with e-file because I like it. I'm very comfortable with it, and it's nice because it gives me the precision. You see, I can just touch up a small area. You know, I always kind of compare this to going to the gym. You go to the gym and you're trying to get stronger. So you go once and you're like, it's worse. I feel terrible. And it just takes time. And you won't see sometimes immediate, obviously, results, but over time, it really makes a big difference. So don't expect amazing results. And again, it's difficult for the manicurists, but don't expect amazing results after one manicure. I can help, I can guide, but the nail care and how much the client puts in, how much they are helping their skin, that's what makes the biggest difference. And that's difficult to realize because we always think, and we put that pressure on ourselves too, to, I don't know, perform miracles. And I see often people do that, and it's just does not going to give long-lasting results. If you overfile, the skin is just going to get harder again, and it gets clients coming back, I guess. I don't know. We all have our ways of doing things, but that's just not my way. But I understand when people, especially when they work for salons, and it's tough. It's tough for the clients because they don't know what to expect, and often they don't receive what they are looking for, and it's tough for the manicurists as well. Not to mention, my God, so I've been learning a lot. It's fascinating about skin and how the skin barrier works. So, and I was guilty of it quite recently when I was saying that the cuticle is dead skin and the other one, the skin fold, is a living skin. And that's, it's funny because Doug Schoen, we were talking about it, and he said, who's a chemist, by the way, and he's like the guru of nails. But anyway, so he said, well, that's not the point, which skin is dead and which skin is alive. What matters is don't cut the skin fold. And it's true, because the skin barrier is actually dead skin. So just because the skin is dead, it doesn't mean that we should be removing it. The dead skin is there to protect the living skin underneath. Like, once I realized that, I'm like, oh my God, it just makes so much sense, because people just have so much hate for the poor dead skin, and they just want to remove it at any cost. But we need that dead skin. That's called skin barrier. Yeah, we need to make it healthy, so the skin can then protect the skin underneath in our body. Yeah, so the lipids in our skin, they help to keep the cells together. So when the lipids are gone, the skin cells are not glued together and they look dry. So what people do is they file it. The worst thing you can do, because you're not helping anything, you're making it worse. You're making it look better at the time, but you're not really helping it. And even again with exfoliation, you have to be very gentle, because when you over exfoliate the skin, you're damaging the skin barrier. And it takes time to repair the skin barrier. It's not going to happen over 1 week, not 2 weeks, probably not 3 weeks. Seriously, it can take months sometimes to repair the skin barrier. It depends on so many different factors, like health and stress and exposure to different detergents, all kinds of different things. So how do I know that what I'm doing is correct? I just go by experience. So if my client's skin is improving every time, that means that I'm doing something correct. So when you see improvement, you're doing something correct. If something is getting worse, then something is happening. You probably are doing too much. So yes, the weekly manicures, not necessarily in a salon, absolutely not, but by yourself, just very, very quick, gentle manicures are much better, because then you're maintaining the good condition of the nails. Because when we wait for the nails to get awful, then we go way too far with the assault on the skin and the nails, and then it just becomes very frustrating. I had a comment, someone was saying how she's like, oh my God, the weekly manicures make so much sense, because she says, she would wait until the nails got really bad, and then she would just go way too far, cut the skin and separated the skin, filed the nails, I don't know, just all kinds of different things, and then it just would look awful, and then it would hurt. Or sometimes even if it looks good the first 2 days or something, the skin obviously is reacting to it. It's gonna take a few days and it looks worse in 3 days. So this always starts to look better. You will always see improvement. It's not instant, but it's like a slow improvement. So I'm just going to smooth, this makes a huge difference as well. Because sometimes when you file the nails, it doesn't matter how soft the file is, the edge is a little bit sharp. So this just hugs the nail, and it makes the finish, the end, much smoother. When it comes to hangnails, or actually torn skin, I do recommend snipping them very gently, because sometimes when something is very torn, you are going to make it worse by picking at it. But I don't really see any here, so I can't show you. There was just a little piece of little fraying skin that I'm going to snip. I always kind of look at the nails and see if something is going to catch. Maybe here, just a tiny bit, this little piece. Less is more, guys. See this little piece of skin here? When you're doing this, it's very important that you don't press down. I kind of grab it like here, but I don't press down. And very often what people do, they grab it and they press down and then they just cut themselves. So you want to have extremely good light and very good glasses when you're doing this, because it's easy to overdo it. So even if you don't need glasses, you probably need glasses when it comes to doing nails. I highly recommend it. All right, base coat. Okay, so I've had so many people asking about the nitrocellulose free polishes, and there are not that many. So Dazzle Dry is an American brand, unfortunately not available in EU. There are some, or there were some polishes made, I think by Catrice. Of course, I've been using it. I still have a little bit. And there are top coats without nitrocellulose. But if you put just the top coat on your nails, it's just going to peel within a day. So what I would suggest is just experimenting and just finding a base coat and top coat, or just like a 2-in-1. I think Essence has it, but again, that's not available in the US. You guys have Dazzle Dry. Honestly, you can just get the base coat and top coat, and just the top coat is not going to work. It's going to peel. You need the base coat, and the base coat by itself is not going to work either. So unfortunately, you need 2 expensive polishes, but at least they're not going to yellow your nails. And in EU, I'm going to really look around. Another thing that I would suggest, and this is just my thinking, so this is not scientific information or something, so don't quote me on that. I think there was an ingredient that's called Maltol, and it's a very strong antioxidant, and apparently it helps the nail polish not to form nitrosamines. So it seems to me that it's not allowing the polish to oxidize, which I think it's going to help the nail polish not to yellow the nails. But that needs to be tested, and I don't have enough nails to test it. But so there are polishes in EU that have Maltol. It's very difficult to pronounce, Maltol. I'm going to include in the description box an article about this. So I don't know, in theory, possibly if we could find like a 2-in-1 base coat and top coat that has that ingredient, I would love to find out if it yellows the nails. So if you guys want to try, if you are only wearing like clear coat and wear that polish for like, you know, at least 2-3 months, then we'll know. So if you want to do that, please share in the comment section your experience with it. Because that would be interesting to know if that ingredient truly is helping. And usually the pigments get a blame for yellowing, and it's not the case, because I've used clear nail polish that yellowed my nails, which is very sad, because I love the Dior Nail Glow, the old version, but I have a feeling kind of my nails got a little dingy looking. And then I get the comments, my God, your nails are so dirty, so disgusting. They're not dirty, it's just they're a little bit yellow, and the camera just shows it like crazy. I don't know what it is. And I truly don't like yellow nails either, so yeah. So this is going to dry in like, I would say 2 minutes. This top coat is a little bit too thick now, so when it comes to Dazzle Dry, yeah, you need a thinner, because once the top coat is this thick, it needs to be thinned out. So I'm going to do it soon, but you see that it's moving very slowly. And when it's thicker, it just takes a little bit longer to dry, like 3 minutes or something. Not a big deal, but it's also a little bit more shiny. Okay, let's see this one. All right, let's give it 3 minutes. I'm going to time it and then oil, and we're done. Just the oil, a little drop. So I have to say, so this base coat, top coat is not going to give you like a blinding shine. It's just, sometimes what you can do, you can do 1 layer of base coat and then 2 layers of top coat. But I find it's going to be more shiny, but it might not last as long. And this lasts really well. Okay, and we're done. Like half an hour. I love these manicures.
Me too.
Muy rápido. Mejor, ¿no?